What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph. You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of reactions, reviews, and rants. And tonight, alright, we're going back to Shadows Fall. Yes, indeed, Shadows Fall fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bobbity bot, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Frank Canini, and Frank wanted to see me react to this. It is Shadows Fall with a tune entitled The Light That Binds. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second. Yeah, this sounds familiar to me. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Fearless Music Show, all one word, and the video has 123,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Shadows Fall, The Light That Binds, live on Fearless Music HD. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Well, you can hear the kick drum clear as day. Man, the more I'm listening to this, the more my head hurts. That kick drum is just coming through the mix way too loud. Oh, good Lord. I hope the rest of the song does not follow this pattern. If it does, I'm going to have a really, really rough time listening to this. And it's nothing against the drummer. I know he's playing his part. I get that. Now this comes down to a mixing board. This comes down to whoever's operating the board. This operator, oh my goodness gracious. He's got to be listening to this, right? He's got to be wearing headphones and listening to the feed, right? Or is he one of these engineers who doesn't believe in wearing headphones and just looks at the meters on the board and goes, oh, that looks right. Oh, I can tell. I can tell by how much the gauges are moving. I can tell how much by how much the meters are moving, that, you know, it's mixed well. I know engineers like that. I do. I've worked with them, and they think they know it all. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. I'm not gonna lie. There have been a few I've worked with where they were able to look at the meters. They were able to look at the gauges and go, oh yeah, that's blended right. And sure enough, it is. But but for the most part, when I work with those guys, oh no. They have no idea what they're doing. They think they do, really don't. We are not off to a great start. We really are not. I want to go back and check something really quick. I think my ears might have been playing a trick on me. Let me just verify. Oh, maybe not. So it is 8 measures. One more time, just to be sure. It's 8. Okay. Yeah, it's really funny. I enjoyed my first reaction to these guys. I remember these guys. I remember I actually really enjoyed what I heard. I'm not enjoying this, boy. Okay, so the verse. 2 measures, just 2 measures of double time feel, 2 measures of straight time feel, 2 more measures of double time feel, 2 more measures of straight time feel. That's it. That's it. 2, 2, 2, and 2. And then it goes into a pre-chorus where it does 8 measures of half time feel. Now, the thing is, I thought my ears were playing tricks on me the first time I listened to it through. I thought my ears were playing tricks on me. I thought I was counting wrong or I was off on something. Nope. I went back and double checked. You saw me do it. And that is exactly what it is. So this is not a mistake. This is all intentional. This is their plan. This was their pattern that they came up with. Ooh. Thank goodness for the chorus. The chorus feels good. The chorus sounds nice. It's straight time. The progression, utilizing the 6 to the root, to the 7 to the root, up to the 4, skipping the 5 and going up to the flat 6, and then back into the riff again. I like the riff. I do like the riff. I think that's a really nice chordal progression. 6 down to the root, 7 down to the root, both in minor. So flat 6, flat 7, flat 6 root, flat 7 root, up to the 4, stayed on the 4, using the flat 6 as the transition to go back to the root again to, wash, rinse, and repeat. I like it. It's different. It's not something you usually hear. I was kind of expecting the 5th to be thrown in there, and it wasn't. So that was nice to hear. That's all going for this right now. I'm sure that the song sounds better than it actually does. This live recording is not doing these guys any favors. This live recording, I'm just going to say it, guys. This live recording is terrible. It is terrible. I'm willing to bet the studio recording probably sounds way better than this does. Because this sounds like garbage. And again, I'm not blaming the band for that. It's that comes down to whoever's running the board. They do not understand how FOH works. They don't. Or they don't understand how live recording works. And here's the thing. I don't think they're actually getting this. Well, I mean, they could be. They could be getting this from the board, and it's just that badly mixed. But if you're recording directly from the board, if you're getting your audio feed from the board, and it sounds this bad, you have no business working a board. None. It's just so bad. Ugh. Just the 4. 6 root. 7 root. 6, 7, 4. Back into the chorus. Okay. Interesting bridge. Man, that was rough. Whew, that was rough to listen to, boy. And it's not the band's fault. It's not. That is 100% on whoever was operating the board. Here's the thing, though. Do I take that into account? I mean, this is a presentation. This video was given to me for whatever reason, but this is the specific video that Frank wanted me to react to. So I gotta take it into account. That includes the sound quality. I need to think about it. Because the sound quality, if I take the sound quality into account, it's going to affect the score. And I'm not just talking like, 0.1 or 0.2. No, it's going to be a significant difference. I need to think about it. Let me get my thoughts together. Let me try to sort this all out. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Shadows Fall with a live performance of The Light That Binds. This was a request from Frank Canini. Wish I had better news. I wish I did, but I took everything into account. I thought about everything. I weighed everything against itself, and yeah, because it is a live performance, and this is the video that was given to me, I gotta take the sound quality into account, guys. I do. So you'll see how much that impacted. I promise you, it's gonna be pretty obvious. Let's start with the score, and you'll see for yourselves. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give that a 6.4. Yep, 6.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 6.4. What does that mean? Well, it's not as bad as you might think. A 6.4 would equate out to a pretty good skill rating because overall, I think this was a pretty good presentation, okay? It would also get 3 out of 5 stars and a B as in boy, B- letter grade. So there you go, a 6.4, pretty good skill rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a B as in boy, B- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? Haha, so glad you asked. I'm gonna shock some people right here. I'm willing to bet that if I heard this song professionally mixed and mastered, and probably not as a live performance, if I just heard this song as a studio recording, I'm willing to bet. Now, I don't know because I haven't heard it, but I'm willing to bet we would be up in the high 7s. I'm guessing somewhere around the realms of a 7.8, okay? If I'm being honest, that's probably where we would have been if I had just heard a studio recording. The song sounded like it had some merits going for it. I like the chordal progressions. I do. Especially in the chorus. The chorus, without question, is the hook. I like that chordal progression. I was a little off my first evaluation. When we hit the chorus the second time and I was following along again, I was wrong. It's minor 6 to root, 7 up to the octave of the root, back to the 6, up to the 7, down to the 4. And we stayed on the 4 until we washed, rinse, and repeat. Then we go back up to the 6, to the root, to the 7, up to the root, down to the 6, up to the 7, down to the 4. I thought that was catchy. The fact that we completely avoided the 5th of the root, I thought that was really cool. I was like, you guys made that work without utilizing a 5th. I love it. I think that's fantastic. Instrumentally, from what I could tell, I liked everything I heard. I think everything made sense, I think. Not gonna lie, in the beginning, when the double kick was going, I'm not gonna lie to you folks, I had a little bit of a hard time hearing the chordal progression because it was just getting buried by the double kick. And but from what I could hear through the rest of the song, I didn't see any problems. I didn't hear any problems. Everything lined up. Everything made sense. As far as the rapid changes in feel go, the chorus, not the chorus, the verses, 2 measures of double time, 2 measures of straight time, 2 measures of double time, 2 measures of straight time. I'm usually not a big fan of that. I'm usually not a super big fan of switching between feels too rapidly. However, since it was set up in a pattern, a repeated pattern, at first it was kind of hard to figure it out, but by the time we got to the second verse and I listened to the second verse again, I was like, oh, okay, I see it. All right, yeah, all right, it makes sense. It's easy to follow. Once you lock into it, once you find it, once you see the pattern, you hear the pattern a couple times, you lock in with the pattern, no problem. But I'm not gonna lie, folks, the first time I heard it in the first verse, I was like, wait a minute, where are we going? Where are we going? Oh, wait, we're changing again. Okay, and now we're changing again. Wait a minute. It was a little discombobulating. I ain't gonna lie. It was a little weird. Let's see, and then switching to the halftime feel for the pre-chorus, I guess is the best way to put it. 8 measure verse, 8 measure pre-chorus. Usually pre-chorus is a little shorter than the verse, but they were even here. Just all 8 measures were halftime. So, I mean that's fine. It's fine. It's not a problem. I'm kind of glad that happened because it got everything to settle down a little bit. I liked the bridge. The bridge was interesting. It definitely stood apart on its own, but not so much that it didn't fit the context of the song. It worked. It absolutely worked. The chordal progression that they came up with for that bridge, it did work. It did stand out on its own, obviously, but you want that to happen in a bridge. You want the bridge to be obvious. You want it to be obviously, when people are listening to it, you want people to go, oh, that's the bridge. Without question, that's the bridge, And they absolutely did that. It still fit within the direction of the song, within the mood and tone and the feel of the song. It still worked, but it definitely stood on its own, which is shooting for. Vocally, yeah, I mean, what he was vocalizing, it works. It works within the context of the song. I may not necessarily be the biggest fan of it, but it does fit. No, seriously, I would seriously give this about a 7.8 if this was a studio recording, but I'm giving this a 6.4. What in the world happened there? How do we go from a 7.8 all the way down to a 6.4? Well, there's a couple factors. Number one, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you already know what I'm gonna say, so say it with me, kids.
Sing it out one time.
A live show can help your score or it can hurt your score. And I hate to say it, but in this case, the live show hurt. Let's go on the checklist. You'll see what I'm talking about. Stage presence. I mean, they didn't really... I mean, they looked like roadies. Let's be honest here. They were just dressed in plain clothes, and they weren't really acting like performers. They just kind of stood there. So, not really. So that doesn't really get a check. Stage energy, sort of. The lead vocalist was moving around, but he was it. And even his movement, really, it was just kind of forward and backward. I mean, yeah, there was the windmilling with the hair. I mean, there's that, but I would equate that more into showmanship than I would stage energy. He really wasn't picking up his feet a whole lot, and when he did, it was mostly just moving backward and forward. He never really moved side to side at all, so not really, no. Stage interaction, none, zilch, nada, zero, zilp, a great big fat goose egg, which I find so funny considering the fact that they were playing on stage as small as it was. They were literally shoulder to shoulder, and somehow they managed not to interact with each other.
That's impossible.
That should be impossible. I mean, they're literally almost like the lead, not the lead guitar players, but the guitar player over on stage right was literally right in front of the bassist. I mean, they were right next to each other, and they didn't interact with each other at all. They didn't even look at each other at all. That's weird, man. Do these guys not like each other or something? I mean, it's so awkward looking. So yeah, unfortunately, that does not get a check. Crowd interaction. There's no crowd. There was absolutely no crowd, but just because there's not a crowd there, I mean, you're being filmed, right? You know you're being filmed for some sort of a internet podcast or internet show or something like that. So, I mean, you know you're being filmed. What should you do? You should interact with the cameras. So that way you make the people who are watching you at home feel like they're interacting with you. That's how it should work, right? Did they ever do that? Did they ever interact with the camera? I didn't see any. Did they ever interact with an imaginary crowd? You know, if you're going to be playing, you know, a quote unquote live show, shouldn't you put on some sort of, you know, showmanship? Shouldn't you, you know, interact with some sort of a crowd, whether it be imaginary, real, or the camera, right? You should, right? Did they? No, they didn't. So that also gets a big fat goose egg. None, zilch, nada. Showmanship. I mean, the guy, listen, I have long hair too, but I'm going to do more than just windmill my hair around. I mean, that can't be it. That can't be it. Is their whole gimmick his long hair? Is their entire gimmick his super long dreads? Is that it? Is that their calling card? I sure hope not. Heaven forbid his hair ever catches on fire or gets cut. At that point, their gimmick is gone. I mean, it sort of. You know what? They need every point they can get. So fine, I'll give them showmanship. Sure, you know that it helps. Production? No, it wasn't. The funny thing is, I saw all the lights up there, but they were all stationary lights. They didn't move at all. They didn't change at all. They were just there, lighting up the stage, and that's all there was to that. So no production either. So this is how we came down from, like I said, about a 7.8. I would drop it down, because the live show definitely hurt this in this case. Brought it down to about a 7.4. I would say that's about right. So wait a minute, hold on though. I'm dropping it down because of lack of a live show from a 7.8 to a 7.4, but I'm giving this a 6.4. What in the world is going on? I am taking the sound quality into account here. Guys, that is some of the worst live mixing I think I have ever heard in my life, in my entire career as a professional musician. That was, I hate to say it, and kids cover your ears, that was piss poor. That was beyond piss poor. That was awful. That mix, dear Lord, if the vocals weren't being drowned out, then the guitars were being drowned out. And if the guitars weren't being drowned out, then the bass was being drowned out through the entire thing. So, man, when you have a lead guitarist doing a solo and he's being equaled by what's happening within the rhythm guitar, can we really say that's a guitar solo? I mean, who's running that board? Seriously. Sometimes the vocals were too loud. Sometimes the vocals were, you know, being buried. Other times lead guitar was being buried, or it was, while it's not soloing, it's the loudest thing in the room. Which is so funny because, like I said, when it was soloing and it's supposed to be the loudest voice in the room, it was being equaled by the other guitarist. And it's like, where's the spotlight now? And worst of all was the beginning when the double kick was just burying everybody to the point where it hurt my ears. Dear Lord, whoever was running that board needs to go back to engineering school. Go back to wherever he studied engineering, go back to wherever you studied music recording, and you need to start all over again, my friend, because you do not understand live recording mixing. It just was awful. So, and I swear, if I find out that he's one of these guys who thinks he can just watch the meters and go, oh, that looks right. No, you are not. Go back and try again. I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I dropped an entire point. You better believe it. That absolutely deserved to happen. That was some of the worst live recording I have ever heard. Some of the worst live mixing I've ever heard. That was awful. So yeah, 6.4. That's how we ended up there. I mean, even then, it's not terrible. It's not horrible. It's, at the end of the day, a 6.4 is pretty good, which is why, you know, I'm giving the overall approval, the overall stamp of it was a pretty good presentation overall. So 6.4, I feel good about that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 6.4, which is a pretty good skill rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a B- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, that did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.